16, Mark 1.
As you have probably guessed, I'm pulling verses that have words in the vocabulary have a fighting chance of finding the stems. There's still going to be words you're still going to need the dictionary for.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's east.
You recognize these guys? This is the Leon, right? So I'm going to pull a trick on you. I'm going to go ahead and cover up all this other stuff, all the cheat sheets. There we go. Now I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. What I'd like you to do is pronounce the word, tell me what it means, and then I'll just move up the list like we did before. These are all prepositions.
Cross. Facing, in front of?
Mm-hmm.
Pro, before.
Apo, away from.
Away from, right.
Dia, through.
Through.
Sun,
So
with.
Hopefully you turn the paper over. You're not reading the paper, right? You're
I don't have the paper in front of me. I don't have a printer.
So you're doing fine. You're doing good. Soon is with.
Meta is with also.
Okay. What's the difference between soon and meta? They both mean with. What did I tell you that meta felt more like? Do you recall? I'll give it away. Meta is more like I'm with you, but I'm kind of like walking hand in hand to someplace. I'm going with you to the store. Soon says I'm just standing with you. So it's kind of like I'm in your presence. I'm with you. Meta is kind of like our modern day of saying, I got you. You know, I'm on the same wavelength as you are.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Harry,
beside.
Around?
Around. Think
Around, right?
periscope, perimeter.
Okay.
All
All right.
like parallel.
Yes, that's your
That
alongside.
one side, yeah, alongside.
Upo,
Under.
Under.
Yeah, it's a hoopa. It's an omicron.
Upa,
And, under.
there, that's above.
there, above.
Epi.
Epi,
Epi, upon.
On.
In?
in,
Whoever gets this one has to pronounce both of them.
ek, away from.
X.
And X.
Okay.
Ek and X. Very good. And it means
Out
Away
of.
from.
Out of.
out of. Away
Oh,
from.
out of.
Yeah, away from would be oppo.
Oh, that's right.
Echo is just ek is just out.
Like ek, out, like in the line goes ek.
Yeah, black. That's a good way to remember. Black. Okay.
East.
Into.
And two.
Kata, down from.
That's right. Down from.
Anna,
Anna, up from.
Right. Very good. Can you think of two words or any words that use the word oppo? Two words that are in apa, pardon me, that are in our
Apostole, apostle.
apostolos, right? And someone else said something else?
I said apogee. When something is the farthest away it can be.
Oh, new word. Okay. That'll do. I was thinking apocalypto, which is revelation, removing the pot cover. Okay. And let's see. Can anyone think of a word that starts with Anna?
Anastasis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Up from static.
Up from the static. Good
my
job. Yeah.
Resurrection.
Oh, would catastrophe come from kata?
I'll have to look that up. I really don't know.
Catastrophe.
Take a piece of paper, cover up all of the English, as you're learning how to do the Greek. So you start getting used to seeing these funny letters like the xe and the rho and the mu and the pi. Yep.
Another table.
Yes, but this is the Greek version of a table you already have. These
Yeah.
are the pesky pronouns. This is a table to photocopy, paste to a card, so that you have now a set of cards all in Greek now. Before you had two of the cards, the and pesky pronouns, you had them in kind of Latin. Now you have them just in Greek. Someone said, did M. Ida was me?
That's what I guessed.
Yeah, it's
incorrectly.
It's M. Iota is me. So it's very, and when you pronounce it, you would say me, which is kind of like,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not asking you to memorize this table, just like when we first saw it. It's one of those things that you'll just have to see the auto and you go, oh, what kind of auto is it? Is it got an N or an OU or an O at the end? You're going to have to come to this table and say, oh, okay, that means him or of him, which means his. But if you said of him, that would work. Autu, which you'll see a lot. And then let's see, the plurals, which has the H sound in front of it. Himes, himas, himon, himun. Yeah, humin. Yes, yeah, humin. So you have all the rough breathing mark in front. And they're all plurals, which is pretty easy for first and second person. You see this and you go, yep, that's definitely a plural. But then you get the autos again, and unless you've got photographic memory, you may not know that auton and auto are two different words. It'll be very easy to flip them around. So I suspect you'll be using this particular table a lot as you're learning the common words. And then just by sheer repetition of reading the New Testament text, they'll come into play. So there you go, pesky pronouns. I have some rules that help you when you're trying to figure out a new word. You've never seen this word before in the Greek. What do you do first? Well, the first thing I personally would look for is there a preposition attached? Is there an epi or a hooper or a hyper? Look for the roots or the stems, then the preposition. Then I would look to see if there was a past tense, an epsilon in front. These are clues that are so common that even if I don't know what the root verb means, I would know it's past tense. And that'll also help me find it in the dictionary, because they don't put the Greek words with the epsilon in front. You have to strip off the epsilon and find the root verb in the dictionary in its normal form, in its present tense form. And then I look for the usual endings, the usual suspects. Os and oi and u are always dead giveaways. And so even if I don't know the root, I know that it's an of the, or a many, or a single. So these are the sort of things you're looking for. Then when you see the whole sentence out, you go, oh, Jesus must be talking to more than one person, or something is belonging to something else. And that's what these endings, and you'll get, hopefully you're getting used to seeing OU and OS in some of the words. On this particular slide, these two sentences are the ones that are probably helpful. It says, when you got a prefix, like a preposition, it'll adjust the meaning as well as the tense. And if it's a suffix on the end, like oi or os, it'll affect the number as well as the tense. Here are some words for Mark, chapter 1. I'm going to run them through first with you, seeing what they mean, and then we'll rehearse them without the English. So someone try sounding out this word.
Hagios.
Hagios. Hagios. That's an ah. Thank you. Omicron.
Chimera.
Amira.
Correct. Yep. It's got an H sound. So as you look in various texts, in school texts or in the actual Bible, you'll see different styles of the breath mark. But if it's always going, sliding off to the right, it's an H. So chemera. Okay.
Hudar.
Hudor.
Hudar.
Weos.
Weos.
Oh yeah, hudar.
Hudar.
Weos. Uh-huh.
Weos.
Yep.
Bino.
Bino.
No.
Baptizo.
Okay, so here's that zeta makes a DZ sound, and the pronunciation splits the D and the Z as if it's two different letters, but it's just a single letter, so it's baptizo. But you pronounce it as two letters, but it's really a single DZ letter. How about this one?
Dokeo.
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 Yeah, it's so easy to say dokeo because I've spent 30 years saying that. But that's an omicron, so it's dokeo. Very good.
Genao.
Genao.
Ganao. Ganao. Yeah, so with a vowel and the omega at the end, it's an a-o, e-o, i-o, o-o, and or u-o, and there's kind of just like there's a hiccup between the two letters. Ganao.
Deo. Deo.
De-o. Uh-huh.
Deo.
Luo.
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 That's the word they use for all of the conjugations in the class.
That's right, because it's only two letters.
Yeah. Pneuma.
Pneuma.
Pneuma. Yep.
Now
And
we
if-
were taught to say the P,
Pneuma.
and so
Yep.
what were you taught, Harry?
It was in English you drop the P, but yes, it's pneuma for me. But if you just said,
Pneuma.
if you just said pneuma, it's like okay.
Oh, so and then that's that epsilon upsilon is like a U.
Yeah.
Pneuma.
Pneuma. Yeah.
Pneuma.
You.
Almost like a Y sound in there.
Yeah.
Pneuma.
So here it is, and over in English, like a pneumatic drill
Yeah.
or a pneumatic chisel. You just drop the P on it, and it's and the E as well. So it's pneumatic, pneuma, but there's kind of like a slight in there.
Opanos.
Uranos.
Uranos. Os. Yeah.
Os.
So like soup, os, uranos. Uh-huh.
Phony.
Phony.
Phone.
Phony.
He's a big phony.
Phone or phony. Yeah. Phony. Yeah.
Phony.
So as we learned from Maura last week, that the Eta that was saved throughout the centuries in the Catholic Church was an actual long E sound. So it's like, oh, okay, now it's back to an E. But you're still going to get people who want to say A. So I give grace. If you say phone or phone E, it's good for me.
New word this time. You gave us phone earlier, right? And not phone. And phone's a murder, right?
Mm.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
that's confusing because
Oh.
phone. which is the voice sound normally.
Yes, this is a sound. This is sound. So just a long omicron.
It has to have the O, the phone. It has to be O sound, not phone.
Right. There's a long O there. And you definitely don't want murdering people. Yep. That Harry, he murdered the Greek. Okay. Hagios is an adjective. It means holy. And so almost always you would say holy one. Eventually you'll get so familiar with it, you just write the word saint. But the actual word is holy. And it's an adjective, so you would say holy one when you're making your wooden translations. Hemera is just the word for a day. I want to draw your attention to hudor. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but notice where the rho is. It's on the end. But if it's a prefix, it's hudro.
Oh.
Hydroelectric plant.
Hydroelectric, yes. So, or hydrodynamic, or any of the hydros. The rho is in front of the omicron. Hydra. Hudra. And so this wandering rho makes it tough when you're trying to look it up in the dictionary. You have to go, okay, which stem it is? And they both mean water. This means water, and this means water. We've covered before is the sun. Bino in its numerous versions is I go, or we're going, or we've gone. So you'll see it as a stem as B-A-I-N, and then you'll have to say, is there an epsilon in front, or is there a different N? So it's the word for I go.
So I went would be like ebino.
Yeah, it might be something like that. Because it would be past tense. Baptizo is an untranslated word, and it just comes across in English as baptize. The O means I'm baptized. I'm the one who's baptizing.
But the actual word means is to plunge under or into.
Yeah, I don't think the word is, it would be under the water, so it'd be under that way, but it's more of like being overwhelmed by something. So a baptism of fire is to be overwhelmed.
Yes.
I'm not being plunged under fire. I'm just...
Okay.
So,
I have to, I'm a Baptist preacher after all.
I know, yeah. Yeah, but it's got the sense of being overwhelmed.
Yes. Very well.
Right, and what he was getting at is that when the King James Version was made, the Church of England was not immersing, they were sprinkling, and he did not want that word translated the way it means. He wanted to just transliterate it so they did not worry about what it really meant.
I give a hearty approval to my wife, Katie.
Okay, so the Baptists have weighed in here, yes, but it's just still the sense of historically, yes, they would. I like how Augustine was baptized by the bishop in, I think it was in Milan, and it was Ambrose, and so they would do it in the nude, and
Yeah.
And it was snow melt water.
Oh.
So you knew when you got baptized. It was
Never forget it.
and they had the men and the women separated.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah. But it was just like, oh really? All right,
Now, when I got baptized, it's just the opposite because the heater on the baptismal was broken. So it's like 110 degrees in there.
Oh no!
So they tried to cook me in there.
They tried to cook you.
That's terrible.
Cook your sins away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to move on, or we won't get to the passage.
Okay.
Dokeo is the. I think it's like we had seen this with the little girl with an, she's thinking, she's the image of that. Ganao, anything with G-E-N is something about generating or generation. You can also translate it as I create, but I like using the root since we have an English word for it, and just put generate in, and then if it looks awkward, then you can change it to create or beget as context. But if you keep it, it'll help anchor the word in, ganao, generate. Deo is binding. This is a new word. I don't think I've shown this one to you before. Luo is also a new word, and it means loose. So I think the lu and loose made it right into English as well. Pneuma can mean three different things. We usually translate it as spirit, especially if it's got a hagios in front of it or afterward. It would be spirit holy or Holy Spirit. But it also can be translated as air or breath or wind. The equivalent Hebrew word for it, ruach, is
Ruach.
also means breath.
Right.
Yes.
Same thing.
So
Spirit and breath also.
yeah, so it's that invisible life force that God gives. Once we were dead and now we are alive in the spirit. Uranos, now what kind of heaven? You're going to see it used multiple ways. It could be as low as the sky. It could be the nighttime starry Milky Way galaxy type of heaven, or it could be the throne room of God. All of these use the very same word, and you only by context you would know what kind of heaven. If they use the word heavens as in plural, it seems awkward because if I look up, I only see one heaven, right? I only see one sky. Or look up on a starry night. But you'll find the Greek will say the heavens, and they're treating the whole. It's like all of that above me is in a plural form, and then phone is sound. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hide English. For this particular test, I want you to tell me what the word means, and I'll just arrow it here.
I go.
I go.
I generate.
Holy One.
Water.
Water.
Sun.
Done.
I think.
Think.
Bind.
Mind.
Oh.
Mind.
Mind. Very good.
Mind.
Okay.
I lose.
Heaven.
Heaven.
Breath.
Oh.
Wind.
Spirit.
Spirit.
Breath, spirit, wind, air. Did I do this one already?
I think.
I
I
think.
think. Yep.
I think you did.
And this one.
Voice of sound.
Very good.
Uranus have anything to do with the name of the planet Uranus?
Leave that up for you to investigate that in your etymology.
Those are all Roman gods and goddesses.
But Uranus, it just means sky, whatever is above me. I found it more helpful than trying to go through my 5 steps, which you could still do the 5 steps when you're doing it on your own. But for us here, we'll just go word by word and see what you come up with. We'll skip the words that you don't know or can't figure out, and that's okay because we'll show you what those words mean later. So we're going for the words, not necessarily the translation. I just want to make sure, can you recognize the roots? So here's the end of a sentence.
Yeah.
Holy.
Ooh,
Oh.
I would think the same thing,
Oh,
but
a
it's not.
field.
No,
A field.
no, it
It's
isn't.
a field or something.
It's a
Agrion.
field.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to sound it out. It's agrion, or pardon me, I should let you sound them out. Agrion, in this case, like agriculture. So field or fields.
Hi. And?
Sorry. Yeah.
And this is a new word. I don't think
Empty oneself out.
this one.
Not ecnosa?
Nope.
No.
Oh, it's not an R in it.
Caruso is the Kiruso is the
Oh, it's close, really
the
close to
root.
that word, though.
Right. Caruso is the root. I'll cover Caruso. This is a new word for you. But do you recognize what this letter in front is?
Well,
It's a past tense.
past tense. It's not an ek.
There you go. Very good. It's past tense word, and then we'll have to go to the dictionary to find out what Caruso means.
Caruso.
He was a singer.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use that as, you know, he put forth, he came out with, he
Yeah.
claimed.
Legon.
He certainly did.
Legon.
Oh, solo mia. Right. Okay.
Legon.
Click on. Those are those little toys.
Don't step on them at nighttime. Right. What's okay? Anyone take a stab at this one?
Click on my egg on.
I speak.
Yes,
Something
very
about
good.
speaking, something
Yep.
about speaking.
And it's kind of looks like a word, but yes, it's about speaking. I speak, Lego.
Erchitai. Erchitai. Erchitai.
Erkatai. Very good.
Right.
That's a KH sound. Erkatai. We'll skip
Well,
Oh.
unless you know what it means.
it came,
I got to
come,
come.
comes, or came,
The idea of going.
comes,
Okay.
coming, or coming.
Why would they capitalize that?
Because he's speaking.
Yeah, he's speaking, and
Oh,
so
it's a
that's the
quote.
beginning of his
Oh.
sentence.
Oh,
That's a the and a subjective. Iskroteros.
Roteros. Isoropteros.
Yeah. Is ka KH cross. So the OS tells you how many?
Singular.
Singular, right. So this came from our previous passage. You may or may not remember it, but it meant strong or strength. Iskaros, the strong one. So I'm not expecting to know that word or this word or this word. There's quite a few new words. I just want to make sure that you knew this was past tense and that this had a count of one. How about this one? This is under pesky pronouns.
Like me or
Of
than me.
Of me. So it would be mine or
than
my.
or my, yeah, or me.
Me would be spelled which way?
Am I?
It would have a not an OU ending, right? Meh.
Of
Meh.
me.
It would
Well,
have-
of me would be mu.
Right. This is of me.
Or my.
So you translate it as my.
But the sentence doesn't make sense with it being my, so well.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Apiso.
So you know what kind of word is it with an omega on the end?
The verb
What's
and its first
verb?
singular.
Yep. And that's as much as we know right now. Okay. Here's another.
But it isn't a verb.
Oh.
I would think it was a verb, but I don't think it is a verb.
But it's a good clue. If you didn't know what the stem was, I would immediately think it was a verb because of the O. So we'll
Yeah.
find out. We'll find out when we get the translation. This one, notice the H in front of it.
Yeah. Who?
Who?
Oh, who?
Double negative.
No. This is ook,
Not.
which means not, but this has got an HOU. I think we covered it one time before, but it's not.
Isn't it like actually who?
Whose?
Yes, it's like whose or which or that. There you go. So it's off that other table of who, which,
Oh,
and
my.
that.
What page?
That should be on one of your cards that you've made up of your own.
Oh, well, sorry.
Okay.
Emmy.
Me.
Emmy.
Amy.
And
I
Dave,
I
I
me.
am.
I am. Yes.
I am. Hikanos.
Hikanos. Yeah, you notice the H. Hikanos.
Hikanos. Hikanos.
And the os tells you it's how many?
One.
Okay.
One.
So we'll leave it at that. This is a word you don't know. It's a new word, but how would you pronounce it?
Koopsas.
Koopsas. Yes,
Yeah.
koopsas. Koopsas. It's like the P and the S are split. Koopsas.
Lose.
Lusai. Lusai.
Lusai. And the LU in front would be the
Part
stem
of
for,
the part of the loose verb.
yes, so something about loosing.
Ton.
Something about
The.
it.
Ton. Ton, yeah.
Ton.
This is
Imanta.
Imanta. Imanta.
Imanta. Imanta. It's a word we don't know.
I'll say.
of the.
Tone. The.
Tone.
Of the.
So this is a plural version. So here's a ton, and here's a tone. And last week was making a mistake of calling that a tone. This is a ton. This is a tone. This is plural of the. Just
Hippo.
Hippo.
Tone.
okay.
You told us this last week.
Hippo.
Tone.
Hupo means what?
Under.
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 Yep. And we'll get to this one later. I'll have a slide specifically for this
Yeah.
word.
Auto.
Of him.
Atu,
Autu.
Of his.
of
His.
of him, and you would translate it as his.
Of his, or, oh, okay, of him is his.
So it's the many something of his, and the many something of him, and you would translate it as his whatevers, and then end of sentence. Ego?
I.
Baptized.
He's
Baptizes.
that's
Past.
past tense.
Past tense. Baptized.
Very good.
And it's not a DC.
Yeah.
Humas.
So this one you would need to go to your
You all.
pesky pronouns. It's probably you all,
You, y'all.
y'all.
Hudati.
With water.
Yep.
In water.
Water.
In water or with water?
It's just water at this point.
Yeah, just water. Okay.
And when you translate it, you'll have to put a helper word in front of it.
Autos.
Autos. You pesky pronoun.
The big he.
He.
But.
De.
But. De. Yeah, but.
Moreover.
Yeah.
Baptise.
Well, future?
Something about baptized.
Yeah, it's
Something
no
about
longer it's
baptism.
no longer past tense, is it?
Nope.
No.
So what you are doing is you're seeing the stem. You may not know what the ending is. So if you just put word baptize here or whatever the meaning of the stem, that's good enough at this stage of the game. You will pick up all these endings at a later time. But if I can get you to get the stem down, then you're almost home for reading this particular sentence.
Humas.
Humas.
Another you.
You all.
Y'all. Yep.
Another y'all.
And
And in.
Yes.
In.
This is
Okay, I'm gonna-
another theological statement here.
Yeah, I know.
Pneumati.
Pneumata.
Pneumati.
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 Yes.
Pneumati.
Pneumati.
And Evelyn, what does this word mean?
Spirit.
Very good.
Agio.
So here's an example that tells you now that we're not talking about merely wind or air because it's got the holy in front of it or behind it. So it's spirit holy. Mhm.
Are you going to tell us what that little funny thing that looks like a miniature iota under the omega is?
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had mentioned it in a previous class that that's an
Aha.
improper diphthong,
Okay.
and you can ignore it. You will see it written because that's the way it's supposed to be written, but it does not affect pronunciation, and it doesn't affect your reading ability. It still means holy.
Okay.
The same is for this rising accent. You can ignore it. This one you don't ignore because this is your H. But you can ignore, for instance, this left-leaning accent because it just tells you it's the beginning of a word. So of all of these, it's the H's that you should be paying attention. There's an H. There's an H. There's an H. There's an H. And then in the case of this diphthong of oo, it's the H is hiding over on the second letter, which is unusual, but because it's a diphthong, the Greeks are treating it as if it's a single letter. Okay, let's see how well you did. Field it is. And Kai, yep. So caruso is a new word for you, and it means preached. So when the operatic tenor, was he a tenor? Caruso would sing.
Oh,
Yeah. He's like he's preaching something. He's just orating in beautiful music. But it is indeed a past tense word. Lego is I speak, or in this case was the past tense. It was saying. So in the past, he preached saying, and ergetai is the word for he comes, and wouldn't be a word that you would knew unless you've had a Greek course before. So new word, new word, new word. The strong would be ekarus, which you would learn before, but I find I like using ER to kind of handle this funny ending. So it's the stronger one. Of me. Opiso is just like Katie kind of clued us in. It's not really a verb. And it means.
I wish it were.
Yeah, it was, because it's like, hey, wait, they broke the rules. So opiso is the word after. Of me again. Who is of whom. You could put the word that if in English, if you wish. Not, me, I am. Ikanos. Ikanos. It's a new word for you. It just means to be fit. And since it's an os ending, it's an adjective, so you would have to say the fit one.
Could it be worthy?
It carries the sense of fit. Now, if worthy means you've got a certain fitness to be able to do it, you could put worthy there. But I think that would be an interpretation or a variant meaning. I'm choosing fit. And in fact, some of the English translations use the word fit, but worthy would be good. Kupsas, completely new word for you. It means to stoop. Luce, loose. Ton, the. Himata, new word, means garment.
Himanta.
Garment, himanta. This could be something that I wrap around my shoulders. It could be a hat. It could be, my pants. It could be my socks. It's just a garment. Anything, it's a piece of clothing. which makes it unusual in this sentence because what they're talking about is shoelaces. So it's a garment. Tone of the many. Deo is I bind. You probably wouldn't have caught this as the stem. So it's of many underbound. And I'll cover this word later, but it means sandals. It's like a piece of leather, a leather pad that you tie under your feet. And so it's something that's underbound, and it's got a garment or shoelaces to hold it to your foot. Autu, of him. Ego, I. Past tense, baptize, baptiza. You all. I like the fact you're getting your southern accents down.
Yeah.
Hudatai is water. Autos is he. De, but. Baptise is baptize. You all again. In. Pneumatai, spirit. Hagio, holy. So if I was to twist this around so it would be better in English, I would say, and preaching, speaking of John the Baptist, and preaching, he comes. He's stronger than I am, and he's coming after me, of whom I'm not fit to stoop and loose the straps or thongs of his sandals. I baptize you all something water, so you need to put in a helper word like with or in. He will baptize you all in the Holy Spirit. So there's a little bit of flipping around to get it into English.
Very good, very good.
I think the thing that I caught out of this passage that you don't see in English is that John is calling Jesus the stronger one of them. He's stronger than he is. And I thought that was a curious phrase, you know. He's more powerful, or he's more,
Yeah.
but instead of using dunamis for power, he used the word iskaros, which means stronger. So he's, and so this, you know, stronger in what sense? It's definitely something a sermon could be turned on just on this word alone. Okay, I'm going to move on. So tricky prefixes. I'm splitting the section into two here, and I wanted to address this part. So here's a website called English for Students, and it's not about Greek. It's about how to split words apart, and particularly about talking about prefixes. And I thought, oh, that would be really good for helping us in Greek as well. So here's this word that I told you about, which is underbound, hupodemanaton, tone. If I just looked for a stem and I saw a P-O-D, I think of the lion's foot, you know, pus or podus, and pod, where we get podiatry, would mean foot. And if I was trying to, since I knew the passage, I said, oh, something about the foot, since it's referring to untying something or unloosing something. So my first clue, when I've got a compound word that has pod embedded, is I'm going to first, I found this root, but I'm noticing there's a prefix in front. So my clue is, I said, I bet it's about hupo and not pod. So it is the hupa is the correct preposition, but I have to believe the Greeks had fun with this, and they just play with words, you know. It was just an accident that meant foot, but it's underbound, deo, I bind, and so the wooden word is underbound. Like I said, is a leather pad, and it comes to mean sandal because they didn't have shoes back then. And so when you're walking around, your feet got pretty dusty and dirty, even if you weren't barefoot, because you had these underpads, leather pads under your feet. Okay, that's prefix 1. Okay, now we're moving on to the other half of the passage. Kai.
And
Genital.
Okay, gen means
generate.
I beget.
or generate, and then the
Generator happened.
Past tense.
past tense, right? N is in. Do we know this word?
Yeah.
Nice.
Those.
Those. It's from that other table of this and that and these and those. Yes.
I have two the.
Okay.
That's days.
Mm-hmm. Hemerais. Yeah, days. This is a plural ending. This one you don't. This one you don't know. I'm going to skip it. This one you do know.
Jesus.
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 Yeah, that's right. Was that Baraket who did that?
No.
Oh, okay.
From.
Oh, from.
Away from. Yep. It's not a genitive of. It's I'm putting some distance between me and whatever comes next, and the place that
Nazareth.
Nazareth.
Nazareth. Yep.
Of the.
So that would be a true from. This is a capital G.
Galilee.
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 So Nazareth of Galilee, Kai and
And
Was baptized.
baptized.
baptized, past tense, past baptized
Into
into.
To
the.
Now this word wraps around. It's a proper name.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Jordanian. Yeah, so it's the Jordan.
Under
Upo.
John.
Mhm.
John.
Ianau, yeah, of John. Kai and you don't know this
Immediately,
word.
it's Mark's favorite word.
Yes, but you don't know that word yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Anna means what?
Up from.
Up from.
I go.
I
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Out.
Ek, out. Think of the lion, out. Two of the
Of the water.
hudatos. Mm-hmm.
Ah,
You don't know this word, I don't think. This one, see if you can sound it out.
ugh.
See. So meno.
Schizo. Something is divided.
Yes. What did you say, Maura?
Something is divided.
Yes. But how would you pronounce it?
Schizomenos.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a mental illness we know about.
Isomenos.
Yes, exactly. So this is schismatic or schizomenos. Yeah, so this is a Z sound, DZ, schism. So it's like some sort of schism is occurring. Something is being divided.
Or scissors.
More like schismatic. It's more of something's being torn rather than cut.
Mm.
Opening.
Okay, tous of
The.
the and here is a plural of
Heaven.
heaven. Yes, so a ripping or tearing of the heavens.
Oh.
Kai and
And
to.
to.
The.
Ta. Thank you. Someone caught me.
Pneuma.
Spirit.
Spirit.
Hear it?
Host, you don't know. This one you don't know, but do you know at least the prefix?
Harry.
Harry, which means what?
Around.
Around, yes. Okay. Kata means what?
According to.
Or
Down from.
down,
Down
from.
from.
Oh, down, down.
And Beno, which we know means
Coming.
I go. So down going, ice
To.
into, right? Did
Okay.
someone say into?
Yeah.
Into.
Okay.
That's it.
Him.
Him.
Him. Okay. And I'll keep moving.
And. Sound.
Phony
So.
sound.
Under a voice.
Pony, yeah.
Oh no.
Uh,
Generated.
Genital, I beget.
or
Happened to
Generated.
generated past tense.
happened, came,
Yep.
something
Out.
Of
out from.
Of the
the
heavens.
Oh, heaven.
Heavens.
heaven.
Yep. Now this is a capital sigma, so it's a quote, and so they capitalize it to give you a clue that there's someone is speaking something.
You.
Sue, yeah, you. You don't know this one. Sorry, I'll move on.
The.
The son.
Son.
Of me.
My.
My.
Of me, or right, my.
The.
The
Agape,
Agapitos.
Love.
right? And when you have an
Loved
os
one.
ending, it comes
Loved
across
one.
as a loved one.
Beloved one.
Or right, so it'd be loved parentheses one, loved one.
In.
You. In,
You.
in
Your.
In you.
That's well pleased.
Well, break it apart. You,
Good.
you
Good.
Greek expert, you. Yeah, you is good.
Good.
Dokeo means.
I think.
I think.
Okay, I see that we're running fast out of time, so I have time just enough. There's my alarm. We have enough time to go through the translation, and I'll let you play with trying to what the various interpretations mean with it. But it's a fun little passage to break apart. So, and past generated in for those many. So you would just say those. For the many. So if you look at the for many's, it says for those many, for the many, for many days. Terrible in English. It just means in those days, plural.
Oh,
But when you're doing the wooden translation, you would say in for those many, for the many, for many days.
Well.
So that you can say, oh, they're talking about a lot of days in those days. So they're talking which days? Those days over there. Not these days, but those days over there. In those days, Elthen is the word for came. Jesus away from Nazareth, so he's put some distance between Nazareth and the Jordan, of the Galilee, and past tense, baptized into the Jordan under of John. And so Katie said the word immediately. Euthus has the word of straight or straightway, carries a sense of right now, something's happening. So,
Famous Markism.
Markism is, and so it gets translated in English as immediately, and straight up going. So straight away, he up goes out of the water. Iden is he saw this schism or this ripping or tearing the many, many heaven skies. So it would be the heavens. Why do they pluralize it? Don't know. We kind of say, we look up to the heavens and it's singular. It's just one sky. But even in English, we'll say the heavens are ablaze with the glory of God, right? Okay. A many heaven and the Spirit. Hos with an H. Hos is the word for as.
Is it like also?
Could be. Mm-hmm. It's a comparative term. So something is as something else. This word, peristeron, it translates as dove. I don't know the etymology of it.
Yeah, really, that's weird.
But it's got a peri. So, I mean, are the doves kind of flying around, like pigeons at a park bench? What, I don't know. But it's the word for dove. You would only know this in a dictionary. Down going, into of him. So the spirit is, he saw the heavens rip apart, and the spirit came down like a dove, going into Jesus. It's not on, it is indeed ice into. So I'll let you work out the theology on that one. Kai and sound, past generated, out of the heaven sky. Wait, is this tone many, of the many?
That's plural.
Yeah, yeah.
It's plural, so this should really be of the many, many heavens. So out of the heavens, and this is the sound they heard. You, I is are. You are the son of me, the loved one. In for you, good thoughts. So I've got
Well,
good
please,
feelings.
is what we say usually.
Yeah, I got good feelings for you, brother. You know.
Words of encouragement.
Yes. So it's almost comes across as pidgin English, but
Yeah.
you get this idea. If you try to say, what does it mean in the wooden form? Good thinking or good thoughts.
Yeah.
Then you can say, oh, I'll translate that as well pleased, or
Yeah.
some other word. But I really am trying to drive home the point that you got to work with the stems first, figure out what the word is, and then the dictionary will say well pleasing. But I wanted you to say you means good, dokeo means I think. So there we are.